Good afternoon, everyone. This is September 7th, after market. We are going to go searching for Momo plays, stocks that were in the run mode. We're surging up into the bell when the bell stopped it. The bell is going to pick up tomorrow morning, and hopefully so will the run. We're going to look for those sort of setups. Now, I've got a storm going on here right now. I don't know if you're going to hear the thunder. I don't even know if we're going to keep power on, but I'm going to do my best to get this done. Now, I've only got 3 rules, and once I cover these, we're going to jump right into it. I got 3 rules that I use to keep the risk at bay because there is a lot of risk that can be involved with this play. It's a fast play, and it is a bounce. I do this to make a little bit in the morning off of, well, what is normally always there up until 10 in the morning, which is my first rule. I am always out of these plays by 10:05 in the morning, no later. Why? Because the market hesitates right there, most of the stocks, and there is a delay in what they're going to do. So before they change their mind, I get out. Grab my money, I'm gone. Second reason I get out is if there is a 20% gain or more. If I see that chart growing, if I see that green bar getting big, I don't have to calculate anything. I know it's way past 20, maybe 50, 80, doesn't matter. I sell, I'm out. I grab all I can get. The third and final reason I may get out of a stock, or I will get out, is if it starts to fall. These are Momo plays. They're supposed to continue climbing. If they're not climbing, they're not doing what we want them to. Now, we do take the first minute to see what goes on. Sometimes that first minute can be disruptive. After that, things are more definitive. So, we get out if it starts to fall, not dip. Dips are okay, dips are good, but a fall, save your assets and get out, try again tomorrow. All right, so let's jump into the charts right now and go find some goodies for tomorrow. All right, so here we are on Think or Swim, TOS. That comes from TD Ameritrade, absolutely free if you just sign up with them and get yourself an account. You don't have to trade with them or spend any money. Just get an account and you can get this too. It does everything I do and a lot more. Okay, this was the list we had generated on Friday and we played this morning, and I've already put a video out on how this worked. Actually, I recorded the bell. I recorded a couple minutes before the bell went off and then the whole period up until 10 in the morning. And I played a stock, sort of, kind of. But this is how the day ended, and these OCLG, Humble, and GGI were pretty much the 3 that started on the green, stayed on the green all day. AAPT came in later and dominated, and that was the way all of those set up. Now I'm going to get rid of all of these. We don't need any of them. We're going to create a whole new list here. Now what I'm looking for are stocks that are surging, that have a lot of green right at the last 10 minutes, that have a lot of RSI and are up near 70 and growing, and have a lot of blue tsunami, the MACD growing. So that is what I am looking for. Let me toss a picture up there real quick. All right, you see that? That's kind of the setup. That's ideal, actually. Not kind of. That's ideal. If we see that, that goes on the list without any discussion. That's a perfect setup. But we're trying to get as close to that as possible. We want a lot of green. We want a lot of blue. We want a lot of red. Tree, water, fire. Okay. So, let's see here. Why is that still up there? I don't know. There we go. All right, we're going to do a search. It didn't work too bad last time. However, I noticed, I'll finish my sentence. We're going to do a search from 001 to $1. That's going to give us over 4,000 stocks. I can only search from A down, that's 2,000 stocks, and from Z up. With this spread in the price, I do miss some in the middle. And I did find one, NAK, I believe it was, that looked like a great setup. NAK, did I remember it right? Yeah. This had a strong setup here at the end of the day. See right there, we had all that volume, 2 green bars. And I don't know, I do see it had all this aftermarket play, but you can also see that she continued growing the next morning. Right there. She took a dip and came back up. But that was something that we missed. We didn't even get a chance to consider it because there is a gap that's missed here. Okay, so you know what I'm looking for? Matter of fact, that is what we're looking for right there. We want volume going up. Is that the end of the day? It sure is. Hey, we already got one for our list. Let me back this out. At least that, I hope I had that set up right. We are looking at the 5 minute, right? Okay. Let's get the very last 5 minutes there. Okay. Actually, she's already had aftermarket period. That's a whole different game now. Definitely. And I can't judge this because aftermarket hours run differently. They don't have the same volume, but they're given the same weight measure, it seems, by the algorithms. So I have a very hard time. You can see down here the volume is very minuscule. You're talking 1, 2 sales, 3 sales, and the price is jumping a lot. So I really don't know. So let's just start with the, I'm going to start with A just so it's easy. All right, there it is. We start with volume at the top. The more trades you have, the more volume that's traded, the chances are the more transactions you've got, the more negotiating, the more price action. That's when you get things moving. All that has to happen. I'm just going to click this yellow 2 here, and we're going to look at this 5 minute chart. And I do have my big chart set up over here so that we can occasionally jump over here and see if it's on a trend, positive or negative for us. And that is on 5 minute. We're going to put this on, oh, that's a 1 month chart based on an hour. And let's get this on the same 7. There we go. Same chart now, just different views. All right, coming back to our scan. All right, I'm going to leave it. That's matter of fact. Let me pull this up a little bit. I want to put the magnification in here, but I've got to get it just right. Okay, there we go. I can get a list. The chart won't move. And now we've got magnification right in this corner. We're going to be looking, I am magnifying this corner right here so we can see the RSI. I don't know how big or small it is for you, depending on your device. It isn't real big for me, but that's what we're looking for, the magic corner of red. All of this can be green, all of this can be blue, but if it's not heated up, nothing's cooking, there's not going to be any dinner. So we need all that. Okay, let's get into it and see what we got going. We got to make these the same color as my yellow 2, which means this one has to change as well. Details, folks, they all matter. Okay. All right, get my eyeballs going here. And remember to look at the chart. If you see something that's growing from the bottom to the top, just a diagonal line, that's 5 days. That's 5 solid days of growth. Check it out. I've got volume here, change. You can see how much they've grown. You can freeze frame time anytime you want and get this information. I have the last price and the 52-week high, so you can see how high they've actually been, how close we are to it, how much we could get. And then here, supposed to be relatively close to the float. So that information is available to you. I won't be looking at it. So you can see all that stuff as I'm flying through here. And I'm looking at all the stocks, whether they moved today or not, whether they were gainers or losers. I'm going to check them out. And anything that looks green, blue, and red. And I am looking for red to start at the floor of 60 RSI. 50 is asleep, doing nothing. 40 is undoing good work. AAPT. This was the top of our list today. From yesterday's list, this was the one that produced the most. It wasn't on the list in the morning. It fell as soon as the day opened. But Sense Time has recovered and was our #1 producer today, and is obviously trying to finish strong, but she's all going backwards. The volume's going the wrong way, not in our pastry desires. Oh, how did that look? No, 52. I got to focus my eyes down there. See, I see a lot of good charts I'm liking. I see that this is growing back nicely. What is that? Fern. I think I own Fern. I think Fern is a beverage drink company. Ooh, in the basement. Who is that? AABB. Ah, the mining company that has been doing all sorts of other things. Was a very hot play for a while. Took a dump. Not finding anything, folks. This was a sad day. I've got 98 stocks and I had very few gainers and they weren't big at all. I was quite sad. Had some huge drops today, unexpectedly. Stocks that had filings come out. Good filings, and you think, well, that's got to help. No, it didn't. There were a lot of big drops today on the OTC. And I don't think the big markets did a whole lot better today. Whew, there's some thunder booming out there. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Wow. We got nothing on our list yet. That is on the floor. That one's trying to come up, but it hit the basement floor as well. Wow, look at that basement floor. These are all careening downhill like the whole earth got tilted. What are we down to? 10 million shares, and we haven't found one to look at yet, folks. What does that say? We need to go take a look at the OTC market and see what the numbers were today. Now there's one, right? From this bottom corner all the way to the top. GXXM. This was on our list the other day. I'm almost sure it was. Yeah, there it is. That was our 10 o'clock play. We got out of it. It dipped basically after we got out of it and then recovered. And it grew all day. Now, that can't be today's. No, that was yesterday's. Right. So, actually, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days ago. Look at that, folks. It hit a low bubble. Learn a lesson here. Wow. Wow. It hit a low bubble. We analyzed it after the low bubble. Look at the volume. The volume was very strong. The growth was right there on the money. It just crossed over the 200. The 200 was showing signs of growing. There was a giant leap of volume first thing in the morning. It took a dip. Now, that could easily just be profit takers. That is a long ways from the low. Anybody that bought in down here would be happy to sell up here and dump. But for some reason, others still see value. They're not done buying, and this thing has been climbing ever since. So if you weren't playing for a paycheck and you kept monitoring this and you seen that it hit the 10 and bounced back up, you may have said, I'm going to ride this. And here may have been a panic mode, but watch your SMAs. It did break the 10. It came through the 20. Didn't even touch the 200. Was testing stuff. That's good. That's showing you that you can count on that strength as it's climbing. And look, the 10 is getting confident. It's pulling further and further away from these lines. It's tested the 20. It's tested the 200. Wow. So GXXM, even right now, is looking pretty darn good. Now, speaking of pretty darn good, how does she look for the end of the day play? Oh, she's just about ready to do a crossover. She's at 55 underneath our floor. Volume is about what it's been doing all day, so it doesn't really show anything that we would be interested in for throwing on our list. However, I thought it was good to pay attention to a stock that we got into and is still going from 5 days ago. Wow. No. There's another one. Wow. Now, it took a giant bounce there. And I don't know. I guess we may not have seen this one because it doesn't show anything. This should have been one we could have caught. Obviously was not set up pretty enough for us. But this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of growth should give us an indication that it is. Look at this. A big bounce there. There was a medium bounce there. So look at this. The bounces were small, medium, large, larger. When you see a pattern, you can even see it down here. Boing, boing, boing. We should be paying attention to those. This should be put on the list. I'm going to put this on the list. This isn't exactly my setup, but I'm not closed-minded. When you see something that keeps repeating itself in grandiose fashion, it keeps getting bigger. Look at that volume. Bip, poop, pow, boom. So it may be done. The 200 does not show promise on the 5-minute. It looks like it's done doing it. But does it? Look at this. A little push-up. It's not like she does any big climbing on her own. It's only that first that half hour, yeah, that's, what time is that? That's right there is 10 o'clock in the morning. Right there is 10 to 10. It actually fell at 10 in the morning. Right there is 10 to 10, 10 in the morning right next to it. So you can see where it's dipping right there. So that's going to go on our list. That is interesting, and it does show pattern of repetition bigger each time. All right, this one qualifies. We're at 62 RSI. It's off my floor. The MACD has been climbing. The growth is significant, can be seen there. The volume is not particularly the way we prefer it to be set up, right? We'd want it going uphill, stronger, but the 200 shows it is turning uphill. The 10 just made a power move across the 20 and has put itself in right position for growth. So everything looks good here. Let's just get a quick glance over here at the long-term chart. All right, that is 1 month. No, that's 30 minutes. Let's get down to 1 month. All right, so she's basically been going sideways the very hardest way she could, up and down, up and down. And based on the month, she would be going down now. But you can see the whole point to the 200 is to be under it and break through, then come down, then come up and break through it again. And she's doing that repeatedly. She has some huge bounces. We've got some bounces here from 0.2 up to 0.3. That's a 50% bounce right there. So she's got 3 out of 4 of our markings, and we don't have a lot going on today. And that is a loser for the day that we're putting on the list. We're down to 5 million shares now. Got to get my eyes focused again. That one was trying to get up there. I saw 54. 3 million shares. Okay, we're just too low now, folks. Talk about too low. HDVY took a serious drop, and you can see the drop there. And just to show you, right about here, we're just guessing if you take half of that line. About here, folks, maybe? Yeah. When a surge happens, you go halfway, and it falls and bounces off of that if it's strong. If it's a strong stock, when it falls, it comes up and meets that 50. Obviously, if it's not, it stays down. But normally you will see a big fall recover to 50%. And it will hang around there like a monkey underneath or sitting on top. Now, I just spitballed that. It may be a little lower, maybe sitting right on the 50 right now. But that 50% mark of a big surge or a big drop is very important because it's a perfect average. The middle of anything is a perfect average, and algorithms love perfect averages. All right, did I put that on our... No, we're not putting that on our list. That was a big drop. We were going to go check our next page from Z up. This will give us another 2,000. We're starting at 394 million shares is the best out of these 2,000 stocks. Folks, now I know I'm only down to 001. You really, to get the big numbers, you got to get down to the triple zeros. But still, 394 million. Maybe to you sounds like a lot of shares, but that could be easily doubled and be an average day. Two Hands has been kicking it, folks. Two Hands has been doing some serious bouncing. I don't know what it's doing right now, but it has been up and down for this last month. It's had some serious days of gains. Is it anywhere close to it today? Well, not by our reckoning. It doesn't show it's strong enough. Now, it could be moving in that direction. You just had a crossover. It has been down for quite a while. Is showing some volume at the end of the day. And as I said, has had some serious days of bouncing. TGGI supposed to be doing a merger with the $6 billion wine company. Whew. Very erratic. Very erratic here. Can't tell you what is going on, but boy, look at that. The basement is this 30. The bottom line is a 30. The top is a 70. This broke through the basement floor and is digging into the dirt. Wow, 24. 006. Don't know what's going on with it, folks. All right, MSPC, microspaces, nothing. Boy, I hope we see something. Phil has been a hot stock oftentimes. Not doing anything now. I see a lot of big bounces, but they all fell away at the end of the day. Sideways. Barely. Whew. Big aftermarket there. That's a big jump. It's not solid, I don't believe. No, that's just a tag off. But it counts on the algorithm numbers. It definitely counts. Okay, finally. Whew. All right, we got a stock here that is just over 2 cents. So when it hits 4 cents, you've doubled your money. Today it started off at, let's back up. I can't even see that. Oops, how come I can't see that? I should be able to scooty this. So let me shrink this just a wee bit more so I can get to my tools. There we go. All right, so she closed. She opened up down here and then bounced up. So she opened up at just over a penny. A penny 8, closed at 2.1. Not a giant gain. Not really all that big of a gain. However, small moves make big gains when you're down here. So that was about 10%. That's about a 10% move. Now it's very strong. You can see that. No, I don't want that. You can see she's very strong. She has got lots of volume down here. Let me get rid of that. And she's got, even after market hours, is showing strength. Looks like it went just a wee bit higher too. So it is pushing up. Our MACD is up in the blue. Our RSI is at 78. 78 at the end of the day. That is cooking, folks. Let's get a big picture here. Is she on a run? All right, here she hit a low bubble. Low bubble stimulate, and there is many stocks do jump right after a low bubble, but some honestly are thick kernels. Take 2 or 3 days and then boop, you don't know why, but they do. And this is one of those slow kernels, and it took a pop. Took a huge pop, then a second huge pop. Of course you're going to have your profit takers, goodness gracious. And what? It comes back to the middle, right? Up, down, right into the middle, it centers. And then it starts fighting again very radically. You know, this is a good one. I like this because it's got huge bounces. I don't know why there is so much. Maybe it has a low float. Can we see a low float on TLLS? What is the float on this? Gee whiz, no, it says it's got 2 billion in the float. I'm going to throw this up there because it shows a lot of potential. It does have the setup. The setup is definitely right, and it shows some erratic behavior that causes huge spikes. And we would like a huge spike. Doesn't seem to have had one right at the bell. It seems to have them at the end of the day. Some huge drops. Maybe it's due. Maybe it's due for a huge one because that looks good. That looks good. All right. Back to our scan. Where are we at? We're at 53 million shares. We haven't had a whole lot, but this is going to keep our list small, isn't it? Yeah, if you can't find anything, you can't put anything on the list. And I won't go dig him up. I mean, again, there's a lot you can search. There's more price underneath our price. There's more price above our price. And we're even missing some in our price. There's something. What do we got here? All right, this says we're at 67 RSI. All right, that's good. Our MACD is quite strong. And we had a bang here, but the volume really went low. So really, everything was low. This one huge. Now there was some volume there, and there may have been some multiple sales. How much volume was that? That was 10 million shares. They did a total of 29 million shares the whole day. So there you go. That's like 1/3 of all their activity in one big boom. So somebody probably bought a lot, or one group. So I don't see this as actually still running, but we will put it on the list because it does tick the boxes. The only box it doesn't tick is the volume, which is an important one, but that's about as close as you get to fire. And on a day like today, a man can't be picky. Okay, let's get back to it. Gotta focus my eyes on that little itty bitty square up there. 57. Oh, I missed VJID. Wow, 23 million. That squeaks in there with 23 million. That's surprising. You normally don't see dashes when you got over 10 million shares. Dashes are like one sale or one purchase, you know, whichever. You normally don't see that. You see bars. So that's interesting. And are these happening? I got this on 5 minutes. Are these happening every 5 minutes? No. This was 205. That's 225. That's 250. So no, there's a lot of time in between each sale. So this volume was popcorn volume. They were just huge buys each time they came in, which isn't bad, but it's not very fluid, that's for sure. So you've got your 67 RSI. You do have climbing on the MACD. You got volume at the end of the day, and she is sitting up high. Even though there's not a green bar, she has not retreated from anything. So she does look good in that fact. Ooh, now that's a month. That's a month. Now, folks, we got a setup here. Look, we were at a high bubble over here, came up, she busted through, which caused everything to start falling. She has fallen for about 10 days and hit a low bubble. That low bubble on a company with value will cause a bounce back. What happened? An immediate bounce back the next day. Now it fell. Maybe these buyers here sold because it got high. They're in it for short plays. Not everybody buys to invest, right? So, yeah, how about this one? Now, it's already had aftermarket activity, which does show gains, does show it's doing exactly what it's been doing all day. It's not done anything differently. You can see we had some power at the end of the day, but looking at it right now, and there's a few hours left on aftermarket, but it does show growth, a little bit of pullback here. I don't know if I would put that into a rush tomorrow morning, while it's doing this. I see we've looked at this before. What is this? SONM. A while back we looked at it. That is some strong gain, and she took her dip, already broke through that 50% mark and just kept going. And she's very strong on the 1 hour. And she's strong on the 5 minute. I'm going to throw this in there, folks, just because she's showing strength everywhere. So I'm going to toss that one in there. All right, we're down to 21 million. All right, so we do have a list there. Some of them aren't too bad, actually. I'm not saying that we've been scavenging anything. We are trying to be picky. There's another one there. Doesn't show a lot. Volume was low today. That was 18 million. It's at a high here. I don't know. It's actually a high. No, the high hit earlier today. It did actually hit higher today. And it's going at the high that it settled on. Right across there, you can see it hit here, hit here, hit here. So I don't know if it's actually ready to surge. It doesn't actually have surge written on it to me. Maybe you think so. That is QEDN, Qued Connect. So I'm going to go past that one. I don't feel desperate, and it wasn't screaming to me. That was at 57 RSI. Another big dip. Another hard dip. Serious dip. Goodness gracious. All right, what the heck is that? Did we look at this the other day? I don't think we did, because that's yesterday or Friday, and that's today. Look at that. So the market closed right here. Opened up this morning down here. What was that drop? About 20%. About 20%. And went sideways all day. Now, is it going sideways, or is it trying to recover? It's trying to recover. Now, this is when you need to check the news. There's obviously a cause. There's a reason why it fell, a catalyst, if you will. And if it was an overreaction, some small news that people misunderstood, misread, or it got misposted and then corrected later, people would start to fix that. Obviously, you had your low buyers come in. I'm sure that is a low bubble. Yeah, that's a low bubble. So you had your immediate low bubble buyers come in. Low bubble buyers. There's always those people out there that buy on low bubbles, especially with stocks that have value. And if the stock does have value and it was an overreaction, it will start to recover. And we can see a strong turn here. It's starting to turn. We don't see any signal that it's coming back up, except that it is going in the right direction to make that happen. Solid drop, solid growth up the RSI, back up over to 70. Same here, big check mark. All going the right way, like it made a mistake and it wants to fix it. So this could be interesting. So I'm actually going to throw this one up there because it looks like it's not our setup perfectly, but it is pretty close, right? It's pretty bloody close. This is the pullback, I'll give you that. And again, no, it's not going to be no high bubble, I'll tell you that much. There was a pullback here, a lot of intensity, but I like the setup. It looks like there could be a correction. And what does it hurt to put it on the list? Doesn't hurt anything. Doesn't hurt a bloody thing. Okay, let's come back over here. We're down to 13 mil. We got some that look like they want to start doing something like that. That one, MJWL, we looked at that the other day, I do believe. No. This is what happens with the low volume day. You can see many of these RSIs right in the middle. 50 is just apathetic, doesn't care. It won't stop anything from happening. The price can move up, the price can move down, but it won't do it much because the RSI is the power booster. And most of these aren't showing anything. What a shame. What are we down to? 6 million. Yep, 6 million. All right, folks. Unless something bounces real quick here, unless we have a miracle stock. Sedgy again. All right. Let's take a different look at Sedgy. Let's look at the 1 month picture. All right, let's look at the 4-hour picture. I'm not sold on Sedgy. Sedgy's been on a downhill trend for a very long time. Is that stimulus month? That's that false money, false security. Had some bounces coming through here. A bounce on the floor. It doesn't look like it's going downhill anymore. Looks like it's going sideways. All these bounces were bouncing downhill. This one's going sideways. It could start to make a recovery, but we're not interested in recoveries, are we? We're interested in big bounces. Now look at that. This was at 0.165, jump to 2. That's a 40% increase right there. So in the first minute, you would see that. Now, when I say we watch at the first minute, well, yeah, but if you see something happening, make your play. Make your play. And what you would do is you have to put in a limit order. So it's very, very scary. You can't buy OTC stocks at market. You can sell at market, and in this sense, you would have to sell at market to get a gain. To get in, it's very, very tricky to buy on the move because you've got to be ahead of the game. This closed at 0.17, jumped up to 2. At 0.17, I might put in a bid at maybe 2, maybe. But because that's a lot of jump. You can see how little it moves. So I don't want to get too far ahead and lose my gains. So if I had just come in at maybe 1.8, well, I can see it does work over in the third digit there. All right, with that third digit, I'm definitely in the game. 0.17, 0.18. See, I could go 0.179, 0.177. I would go 0.17 or 0.18. Yeah, I would put in my bid right there. So I would have caught that, but look, it fell and it just did nothing. So there's a lot of false alarms, and that's why I say we look for the first minute to see what's going to happen. But does this set up for tomorrow? I think it just might. You got a big green bar. You got lots of volume supporting that green bar. We are in strong MACD, a crossover over the signal line, coming out of the red into the green, and the RSI is hitting 61. So she does qualify, and as I said, what's it cost you to put it in the list? All right, I think that is actually going to be it now, though. We are down to 6 million. If we find something, we're going to be, well, lucky, I guess. I don't know how many more I can fit on the list. It does become burdensome to watch them in the morning, but hey, you only look at the ones that are at the top of the list. So if they don't pop up there, what worry are they? You could have 1,000 below it. What's the matter, right? They're not being looked at. All right, we are down to 4 million shares, which is about where I cut it off. Yep, that's it. Okay, not a lot of volume today. Matter of fact, let's go take a quick look at the OTC market and see what the volume was. All right, so there you go. We had $2.1 billion sold, which is, goodness gracious, it doesn't matter if we sell 3 shares or 300 bazillion shares. It's always 2.1 billion. I don't know if that number stuck or what. 21 billion shares sold today, which normally we're selling 30 million on a slow day. So we're very slow there. I have seen it up to 60 million on a nice strong average day. And trades, we got 421,000. That's low. It should be up over 500. It should be over half a billion. 600,000 to get things really bubbling. That's the start of boil. So that's where we were today. Not exciting. We got something for our list there, right? Let me move over. There you go. So we've got something for our list. Remember, we are just watching these in the morning. In the first minute, we're putting in our order above the price we can see. If you're coming in before the market because you found some catalyst as you're doing some DD tonight on the stocks we just found, be sure not to pay much attention to the bid price, the ask price. These are just leftover prices thrown out there. It may say, 91 when it's at 62. Don't put your price in at 91. Just think about 62 and get ready to put your price above that. All right, folks. I hope we have some good ones here today, and tomorrow we will pick up on where we left off, and good luck to you. Remember, do that DD. The more you know, the more you grow. See ya.